Hey guys, it's Drew again. Conrad Hall was one of the most influential cinematographers in American film history, and he once said that there's a kind of beauty in imperfection. And I thought about that and how it relates to baseball cards. So today, I want to show you some of my cards that are far from perfect, but absolutely beautiful in my eyes. So let's check it out. I've noticed recently that there's sort of this buzz phrase that's been going around within our hobby, which is I want high eye appeal but a low technical grade. And to be honest, that's not anything new. I've seen that for years and years in my collecting experience, and maybe you have too. But it's definitely something we yearn for. I mean, if you have a low technical grade, if you're not out for the registry or trying to have the highest number on your slab, but you just want a card, a specific card, but you've got to keep it affordable. So what makes a card high eye appeal but a low grade? Well, the low grade, of course, is the technical side. It could have a crease, a pinhole, a mark, a stain, or any other number of technical things that would drop that grade down. But if that crease or stain or pinhole is sort of concealed or hidden or on the back or somewhere where we don't see it, well, that raises the eye appeal. And that's what we try to do is we get that balance with what we do. We need to try to get a card that we can enjoy looking at and overlook its imperfections, but still really enjoy the card. I mean, most of us wouldn't want, a card with mustache written across Mickey Mantle's face. Well, some people might, but, we may want a card like that. But if there's a crease that doesn't break the surface, I hear that a lot, or doesn't go straight across the face, or a mark on the back, or a pen mark that's in an inconspicuous spot, that all adds to it. But if it adds to the color, the registration, the centering, or whatever else that you like, that adds to the eye appeal. So it's this scale back and forth because, to be honest, most of us, if any of us, can really afford tens in these cards. So we're looking for that one, two, three, whatever range we feel we're comfortable in collecting. For me, I like authentic and one, and I just don't want to spend more money than that. So I really try to find this. Now, earlier on in my collecting career, I didn't care. I just wanted a copy of the card, and I got some dogs. I mean, I got some that were creased up or marked or trimmed or whatever. And, over time, I wasn't as happy with those. And I started to refine the way I would look at cards and the way I would choose the cards, and I would be more selective in saying, well, yes, this is a card I'm looking for, and yes, I can afford it, but I think I'm going to pass on this. Now, I haven't gotten as picky as other people, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I still have kind of a low bar of entry, but I have been, lucky enough, I suppose, to find some great cards, and I wanted to show those to you today. So we're going to head over, and I'm going to show you, I think it's 6 different examples of cards that have technical low grades, but still, I just absolutely love. And when I look at these cards within my collection and within my displays, I don't focus ever on the issues within the cards, but rather the card itself and the things that I really enjoy, which is the color and the registration and even the centering at times. So let's go head over there and we're going to check out those cards. So one of the first things people might say is, I don't want a card that's trimmed. If it's trimmed, I have no desire for that. And for the most part, I would agree, especially if, you thought the card was trimmed in order to, trick the grader. But sometimes you can find beautiful cards with just a barely minimal amount of trimming, and it doesn't really take away. So I'm going to show you my example of my T206 throwing position of Rube Waddell. And this one's trimmed just slightly along the bottom, so it got an authentic grade. But look at the color on that. Look at the sharpness of it and the centering. I love this card. It's a beautiful card, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have it. And even though I know that it's technically trimmed, that doesn't bother me whatsoever because it just is a great example. And I would much rather have this example than one with, creases wrinkled up, which is probably the same price range I would have got it in if I had wanted one that was not trimmed. So there's the first example. Another thing people might say is, well, I don't want a card with wrinkles in it. And I understand that. I mean, if it looked like it was crumpled up and went through a laundry washing machine, then probably not that. But I'm going to show you my example of my 1954 Mickey Mantle Red Heart. And that's a beautiful example of an absolute great card. But as I tilt it, if you look down around where his, you can kind of see it right there. There's a crease that goes across. It's sort of a fold, and you can see it in a certain light, but look how far down I have to tilt it, the angle to the camera, just to be able to get that. Otherwise, it just sort of disappears, and I never see it. Now, I do know it's there, and it's not like it's going to fool anybody if I ever decided to sell this, but in the meantime, I'm thrilled to look at this card, to own this card, and to have it, even though there's a crease across it. Now, the other thing someone will say was, I don't mind a crease like that, but I don't want a crease across the face. It would take away from it. And it depends on, to me at least, on how far it goes through. So here's my 1952 Bowman Stan Musial card, and there is a crease on it, and it actually goes on his face, if we can kind of see it. But even on the angle, I can barely see it. Now I can see it with my eye, but it doesn't even look like the camera's picking it up. And that's the kind of card I want, because again, I got this card at a price because it was a crease across his face, but it's barely noticeable, and I just love this card. This is just a classic card. Stan Musial fans love this, and just vintage collectors, it's just one of his most favorite cards, and I don't show it often enough, but beautiful card. Crease across the face, I'm okay with that. Another one would be, well, I don't want staining, or I don't want a pinhole. Well, I've got a double whammy for you, because I've got a card with a pinhole and staining on it, and that's my 1952 Bowman Willie Mays. Now, if I hold it back out here, you can't see either, but if I hold it up close, look right across the Willie, it looks like someone spilled coffee on his shirt, like right there. And of course, up at the top is a pinhole. But I got this for an absolute steal, because people say, well, I don't want that. I don't want that in my collection. But again, I don't look at my cards this close. I look at them this close. We call the arm's length. And at an arm's length, I can barely see either. It absolutely looks great. And there's no way I could afford that card if it didn't have those imperfections on it. Another one would be paper loss. Well, I don't want paper loss on my card. Well, I've got a card with a lot of paper loss on the back. I'm going to show you the back of the card, and that's my 49 Leaf Stan Musial. Obviously, this was glued into a scrapbook, but if you can find cards like this, a lot of times the fronts are absolutely gorgeous, and this makes no exception. Now, I've said this many times, and I'm going to say it again. This is probably my favorite card in my collection for a lot of reasons, but I love the dark blue on that, and it's got some honest corners on it, but I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. The centering's pretty good, and absolutely the colors, the registration on this, which is so prevalent to be terrible in this set, is just great. So yeah, I will take this card all day long, even with back damage like that. And then the last one, you know, it's probably the card I show the most often, but anytime I get a chance to, this is just technically a 1, but that's my 1949 Leaf Ted Williams, and this is absolutely stunning. I mean, the corners, the edges, the color, the registration, everything you would want on a card. And you say, well, why is it a 1? Well, because in the middle of a text, down halfway in between, you can see right there's a little paper loss. It looked like it stuck to a table or something, and but as a result, but you can still read it from a, not even from an arm's length, and that gave it a 1. Now, I don't understand grading. I don't know why this isn't a 1.5. I thought a 0.5 was, well, it's technically a 1, but it's got a great eye appeal. I can't see why anything would have a better eye appeal, but the truth is because it was a 1, I was able to afford it, and absolutely the best example in my collection of, quote, low eye appeal, but I'm sorry, low grade, but high eye appeal. And so those are my 6 examples. So what cards do you have? I mean, do you shop like this when you're looking for cards? Would you take any of these cards with these types of things? I mean, a stain and a pinhole on a Willie Mays, is that something acceptable to you? Or are you like, no, I'm definitely going to pass? What about a trimmed card like that Waddell? I mean, what kind of cards are you looking for when you're trying to complete out a set or a run or whatever you're looking for? So those are some examples in my collection that I have of, quote, high eye appeal, low grade cards that I'm absolutely fine with, and I have no plans on upgrading or replacing anytime soon. I appreciate you coming along as always, and until next time, you guys be good.